5150. Chippy Cabs, the Regent, downtown contaminated and infected LA. This man needs no introduction, but I'll introduce him anyways. Dan Clements of Chaotic Noise, or Excel. How you doing?
I'm doing good, Jimmy. Thanks again for having me, dude.
2019.
I know. It's a trip, isn't it?
You're touring with Sacred Reich and Violence.
Mm-hmm.
How's it? First of all, it's 2019, but anyways, how are you enjoying the tour?
Oh, it's been excellent. This is the first night with Violence, and tomorrow, but it's been with Sacred Reich, and it's just been like really cool. It's like super, just it's been chill, but also exhilarating too, just because like you feel the vibe of like the new youth, you know, new generation digs it, you know, the generation that we have is like, you know, digging it, and it's just been this cool like just ensemble of fun, you know.
Good. Here's what most people don't know. You're injured right now.
I am. I have a torn peroneal tendon in my foot that took place in end of December, and I waited like 6 weeks ago to get it checked out, and then it just made it worse and stuff. And so I've had this. I went to Europe with this medical boot, which was just super like strange playing with it. So the other shows that we did, I just had my regular bands on, and my foot just like swelled up to like a Nerf football.
Great.
And yeah. So anyways, it's back to the boot, but at least I'll have like some stability. You know, as they say, it sounds cliche, but it's true. Like the show must go on. You know.
Well, you know, let's recap. For those of you that are in my age group, you recall that Excel has always had an incredible legacy of live performances, where it is extremely physical, very energetic, extremely physical, to the point where, as I told you in our private and on the record conversations, watching you perform hurts my back.
Yeah.
And I'm just watching you.
It hurts.
And then here's the deal. You have a history of other injuries. I believe your eye was detached?
Yes, it's true. Actually, at the RUCA Excel debut, the reunification show in 2013, I actually I must have just like been so excited that I headbanged my eye into a detached retina, and so after the show, I was blind in my right eye. So that was pretty hardcore, you know, that it actually just like severed my retina from just headbanging. But it was just, you know, like I said, one of those situations that, you know, it just had to take place. In fact, I went blind in my eye for 4 years because I was on this like HMO plan, and like the copay was just adding up, and they wouldn't like do the cataract surgery, which is what happens with all the laser work that they do. So I was actually blind in my right eye for 4 years, even though I had light. When they reattached the retina, and that was like just a whole experience I don't want to go through, but it was one of those things that I'm glad I did, because I have such a deep appreciation for, you know, being able to be alive and be healthy even with injuries, you know, still performing, you know, still living, and so for that I'm like extremely thankful for. And plus I got my eye fixed completely now, and that's been like a blessing, you know.
Well, here's the deal. If anybody doubts whatsoever about the integrity of Excel's on-stage performances, there you go. I mean, what more can you give? Mind, body, and soul.
Well, thank you very much, but at the same time, I've got to give recognition to the bands like Stalag 13 and Beyond Possession that taught Chaotic Noise and Excel some valuable lessons on like performing and what it takes, what it means to really give it your 100%.
Did they give you their philosophy?
Oh, no, it wasn't. They gave us our philosophy. They actually taught us a valuable lesson where in 1986, Excel played at the Anti-Club with Beyond Possession.
Yeah,
Beyond Possession went from Beyond Possession had just played the night before at a Thrasher magazine anniversary party in San Francisco. So they drove all the way down for the show that was like a matinee show. It was a daytime. It was like I said, it was like a handful of people. I pretty much was just embarrassed and ashamed that it was such a low turnout that I just kept like saying in between the songs, like, yeah, sorry for this shitty turnout, whatever. After we played, most of, like our friends left, and it was just basically Beyond Possession playing in front of us, and they put on a show as if like they were playing in front of like 10,000 people. Yeah, and I was like extremely ashamed afterwards, because I realized I just like phoned it in, and it was like the most biggest disservice you could do to your art, you know, if that, you know what I mean? And so later as Excel, if we had like nights where there was a low turnout on tour, we always went into the code word, we got to go Beyond Possession. and that's never left us. Even if we have like you know, like a different member or two in the band, they all like understand because they've had experiences that were similar to that too. And so it's like if you're not going to put 100% into it, then you shouldn't be really doing it. At least as far as the name Excel is called for a reason, you know. And so that's kind of what we got to like talk the talk, you know.
That's a
and
great
walk the walk.
That's a great story because I was at that show. As a matter of fact, Armando Fimbra has bootlegged it, and
Oh shit! I would love to see that. I mean, it was just like I said, it was one of those things I still like think of. And in fact, I got a chance to tell Ron, the singer, what a big influence he was like, and that was like I said, like something I'll never forget, you know. And it's like, and of course, like the bands like Solid 13 too.
Yeah.
We're like just all about high energy, and like, even though you get older, it's like like you know, Henry Rollins, like, you know, like feels it too, like in a sense, like if you love music and you're performing music as a combination of that, you can't help but just like give it your all, you know. Even if you got like multiple days, you're not thinking about the show tomorrow, you're thinking about the moment right now, you know. There's been times where I've been on stage and like when Excel did like the Seeking Refuge tour, we did 35 shows in 35 days. And you know, you gotta pace yourself, and I keep telling myself, okay, I gotta pace myself. But as soon as the music starts, you know, all common sense goes out the window. You know.
Well, it's part of your DNA. It's funny you mention that. Let's talk about current events. Mm-hmm. You've been touring. You toured Japan.
Yes, for the first time.
Let me say that again. You toured Japan
for the first time.
Brazil, South America.
For the second time.
Europe.
Like for the fourth time.
These are all continents and places that you never went to back in the prior days, in the vintage days of Excel.
Well, Excel did go in 1989 November. We went to Europe, and it was just totally by coincidence that we actually played in Berlin the very last day that the Berlin Wall was up. Like the very next day, it was officially taken down. There was like satellite and news vehicles for miles. And so yeah, we went in '89. We went to Europe, and then we went in '93. But Brazil was the first time in 2014, and then back in end of 2018. And so, but this last year, Excel was busier in this last year than pretty much like the 10 years, the first 10 years of Excel. You know what I mean? And
how so?
Well, because I just think that there's more opportunities for bands to tour. It's a little bit easier now as far as transporting equipment, because now there's like equipment available all over the world, you know, quality equipment, and so you can feel more accommodating. And I think also just that the fact that there's still a demand for it, you know, and so promoters are.
That is exactly what I was going to mention, because you're very humble. The demand has never left. Regardless of what year or decade we're in, it seems that you've been able to retain every decade a new and older audience, and your fan base has never dwindled. No. Why do you think that is? I have my opinion.
You know, I actually, I can't really quite you know, just being in the centerpiece of that, it's hard to understand. I would just hope that it's because it resonates for how much like love and work went into like starting it, you know what I mean? Because it really was about, you know, not just camaraderie, but the whole scene itself. Like I grew up like with no like brothers and sisters, so my band became my family, and the people that would go to shows and to parties and to like even record stores was like the extended part of the family.
The sincerity back then as well.
Remember
before everything was commercialized like it is now, and where now there's money. Back then you were doing it because of a heart and soul.
Oh, absolutely.
And would you agree that we were outsiders of the so-called heavy scene at that time?
Of course, yeah, absolutely.
There was only so much Screaming for Vengeance from Judas Priest could take you. You wanted something heavier.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
no offense to Judas Priest.
No, I mean, yeah, that's why, like, you know, that's why
we were outsiders.
Absolutely.
And that's why we bonded.
Yeah, that's absolutely true, and that's just, you know, like I said, I was like feel like I always gravitate towards the underdogs, and you know what I mean, the outcasts. You know, I always feel like there's always like the secret ingredients to like overcoming things like amongst that, you know, like that demographic, you know, say it's like
well put.
You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm not kidding. Like I mean, you guys just have to like just look at like the early pictures of Excel. I mean, like we're just young, like innocent, but really like, you know, kids that really just wanted to like just get better. What was cool is that in the end, it's like we never really were like the ones that ever like fit in. We weren't the most popular, kids or adolescents. You know what I mean? And so with that, we were able to tune into things that were outside of our local scene. And then I think we got to tap into something really cool,
And one of the things that I'd like to mention, even though it's documented, but one of the things that I'd like to mention is there's very few bands at that time that were crossing both the heaviness of metal with the aggressiveness of punk. Mm-hmm. That was back when you and Cryptic Slaughter and other bands in other regions of the United States, that was very rare. But here in Los Angeles, that was extremely rare. It wasn't until, let's say, maybe 85, 86, where then it became more accepted. But back in those times, you recall those punk shows, how they were. They were very violent. I just had a talk with Waddy about it.
Yeah,
I still have post-traumatic stress.
That's rad. But it was just, I got a little off topic, but just to like try to answer a question, why the relevancy and the longevity of the band. I just think it's like I just feel like I would hope that people can just kind of like with their senses like feel that this band comes from a place of like sincerity, and I know it sounds cliche to say, but also authenticity.
It's real.
You know what I'm saying? Authenticity is sometimes gets overused, like, and it's sometimes a selling point or a marketing scheme. But real, like I said, people can either they can feel it or they don't, And so in some ways, like I always just feel like whatever, even if you can't put your finger on it, it's just there, and that's kind of like what makes it kind of cool,
Right.